Good morning, everyone. Today is Friday, November 28th, and I'm going to share with you what I'm currently watching. I'll show you the live trades that I'm currently in. I did a limit order this morning on one, and we already got filled. So uh, thank you for joining me. And here's here's what we're looking at for today. We've got a lot of markets that we're watching. Australian dollar to the Swiss franc. This is what we're watching. And again, I do everything on the 4-hour chart. I find my structure and momentum based on the 4-hour. So in this particular market, I'm looking for price action to come down to this support zone and then give me rejection. And I'll be looking at it closer there. This is confluence where we have the pullback coming into the support zone, and then we also have an uptrend here, and so price action would intersect or make a confluent right there. The problem with this one is that when you look down at momentum, momentum is high pointing down. What we need for this to work is we need momentum to be low, the lower the better, and hooking up. And preferably, we're looking for a divergence on that. If that occurs, then we'll start looking for volume, and volume is the sniper. That's the sniper bullet. It shows uh, when large money is stepping into a market. So we're watching that one. The next one we're watching is Australian dollar to the US dollar. And this one is a pullback into support and resistance zone. We also have, if we get this pullback, it'll come right back to the 50 EMA. You can see that volume is moving down, and that's what we need. Need it, and again, the lower the better, and then we need it to make a hook to the upside, and then we'll start looking for volume. Canadian dollar to the Swiss franc. Two different possibilities on this one, and you can see I've got them drawn out here on whichever direction this market goes. That's what I'm going to start watching for. Momentum is currently neutral. You can see it's just kind of in between here, and so, but this is a pretty strong resistance area or support area, and so we'll be watching for that. I'm also looking for this one as, to me, this could be a possible triple top. If you look too far to the left, then you don't really see it. Price action is up to here on that one, on that swing high. So this is what I'm watching in that market. Euro to the Swiss franc is the next one, right here. And these are just markets based on, like say, today's the 28th. Yesterday was Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, if you're into that. And we are celebrating ours today because we had work to do yesterday. So I'm trying to get this done for you. These are the ones that I'm currently watching. Okay, what do we have going on here? So this one I'm watching for momentum. It's going low. You can see the angle of it is going steep low, and I'm looking for that to make a hook to come up. I think that this market might bounce. I was hoping, or not hoping, but watching for it to bounce right in this area. Seems like that's pretty good support and resistance. It's technically still kind of right in there, so I'm looking for some kind of a rejection from here, but in the same hand, I have to have momentum low and hooking up before I'll even consider it. It's surprising, that'll be our lesson for the day, maybe, is momentum. Euro to the Australian dollar is the next one I'm watching. And this guy here, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a deeper move down. And look at that rejection candle right here. And that was it. It wasn't quite at the top. That's why I didn't take it. Normally on shooting stars and hammers, I like for them to be at the very top or at the very bottom of what I see up in here. But that was a really strong rejection candle. So I'm looking for a deeper push and then a pullback into this now resistance zone. But you can see that's a pretty strong zone. Price has respected that area several times. So, and in the meantime, I think the 50 EMA will start coming down. This will also give momentum a chance to come up and then give us that hook coming over. Euro to the Canadian dollar. I am watching for a push down into this support zone. And you can see that it's been respected three major times and then one minor time right here. So will it do it again? Don't really know, but I am watching this one closely for a pullback. That's a euro to the Canadian. This is one I'll be posting. My pin will work. I'll probably be posting this on TradingView, and because this one could happen, probably won't happen within my time frame today, but it certainly will be one that we're watching going into next week. And so that's a good one. Euro to the pound, and you know, to classify this one as a good one, it just means that it's going to happen sooner rather than later. Some of these might, you know, not develop for 2 or 3 days. This one might develop in a day. Okay, so the euro to the Great British Pound. So it's obvious what I'm watching for here. I feel like this is a strong support and resistance area. So I'm looking for a pullback up here, which will coincide with hitting the 50 EMA. But in the same hand, I need momentum, which is the line here. I need momentum to come up high and then give me a hook coming down. Euro to the yen. And this is another one that could go either way. Took a nice little profit in that one last week or this week, whichever that was. And I called out this one and posted it in TradingView and Facebook. Take a look at it there. Nice little shooting star right here. So confirmed. And so anyhow, what do I think it's going to do now? I'm showing my 2 different examples. I think it's either going to do a pullback here and continue up. This market is very high. I don't see anything. The closest thing I see is way down here. And so this market's really high. Can it go higher? I have no idea. I don't try to make you know, beliefs on whether I think the market can do something. I just go by what I see and my rules. That's really important to have. Okay, so what do I think? I think it might bounce off of this SR zone and come up, or it could push through that, maybe hit this trend line that we have going up, and then bounce back up into the now the resistance zone. Draw that out a little bit. Maybe happen over there. That'll probably go over there. And then come off of that. So next one is the pound to the Canadian dollar. And what I'm watching here right now is I see momentum is really going down, and I'm looking for momentum to come up before I do anything. And in the meantime, structure has to show me something here. I mean, right now it looks to me like it's blowing through what I would say is the SR zone. And that's why I'm kind of adjusting it a little bit. It might be somewhere in there. It could be, possibly. But on the same hand, I would need to see rejection going up, and momentum needs to make a hook and start coming up before I do anything in there. The Great British Pound to the Swiss franc. And here is another one. I feel like this is a strong support and resistance zone. It has broke out, made new highs. I'm looking for a retrace here and then a movement going up. And I just put a little note in here. We're looking for, or waiting for, rejection at this level and momentum to go lower and then hook up. And divergent is best. So when you have divergence, like a low and then a higher low, and sometimes up in here like this is convergent. But anyhow, I've got other videos on divergence and all that. So, and then after we see that, then we start looking for volume. So volume is the absolute fingerprint of big money stepping in to whatever market that it is. They can't hide it. It's there. All you got to do is find it. And I really, really think that that is a strong key to this strategy being successful. Okay, dollar to the Canadian dollar, the last one I wanted to show you. And here's another one. I'm watching it. I'm not really sure what's going to happen here. This is not a triple bottom to me. It would have to be the lowest point that I see. Pardon me, I got something in my nose hair. So I'm watching this area. Kind of what I'm thinking. I'm not looking for a bounce to come off of it, but what I'm thinking is that we might see something like this. And I'll just change that to red. So it's very possible we could see something like that. Okay, so the market that I got in this morning with a limit order, we'll find out how it's doing here together. So I'm going to show you my reasonings for this. If you're familiar, this is a very obvious shooting star reversal pattern. So you have the shooting star candle here followed by an engulfing red candle. That's the setup. So I saw that, and but the price, everything was, in fact, I didn't get in until just recently, like 2 hours ago, hour ago. I was sitting at the computer and I saw that. So I don't see volume. If you look over here, I'll point it out again. If you look over here at the second number right there, that's the number that we look at for volume. So I'm looking for red volume. I can do it right down here and just look over. That one's 40, that one's 73. So I don't have volume on a 4-hour chart. So I have to move down to a 1-hour chart. Now I've got the setup, I've got momentum, I've got everything, and an engulfing candle. What I need now is volume. So here we go again. I'm looking here, and I've got 80, 42, 69, 81. So I do not have volume over here either. So now the last thing I can do is drop down to the 15. And I'll just show you, it was somewhere back in here, 68, 80, 89, right there. Right here is my volume candle at 89. So that's where I started deciding where to put my limit order, how to put my limit order. Okay, and I started looking at what was going on here. I placed my limit order basically at the close of this engulfing candle, because I felt like that's where it should have been, and maybe just a couple of ticks below that. And the market pushed down, pushed up. Once you get in a trade, just forget about it. You can go back and look at it once in a while, but don't be obsessed with it. You're either going to win or you're going to lose. The VMS strategy gives you an advantage by watching momentum and by watching volume in addition to market structure. Okay. All right. So we are currently live in that one. And another one that I'm live in is the Swiss franc to the Japanese yen. That's this here. I've been in this market for a while. I got in last Monday. So I've been last Monday, almost 2 weeks of this trade. And swing trading sometimes will do that. I'm super encouraged with this. I really think we're going to we hit the first target, but I really think we're going to make a move down here to the 50% fib. This is all really strong stuff. And if I hadn't been in over here on the shooting star reversal, I would have tried to get in right in here on the triple top. So looks like it's going to keep going down. So the daily lesson, let's go over the importance of volume. I think that's probably the biggest thing. When we're looking for volumes, like here we had 4-hour volume at 94, which is just a single candle that was seen, and volume represents the amount of money that is coming into a market at that moment in time. And what I'm finding with all of my wins is that volume is very strong in the 90s, high 80s. I'll consider 89, maybe 88 at the lowest, but I'm looking for these 90s. And a lot of times it'll happen on the 15-minute. So that's like a sniper bullet, man. It doesn't work all the time, but it works a lot of times. Okay, so that's it for today. And we did pretty good this week. Took a couple of wins, took a couple of losses. You know, that's the way the game is played. So if you found any value in this, if you're watching the same ones, fantastic. You know, drop me a little note. Tell me if you agree with the breakdowns or if you don't agree. I find we have opportunities every single day, and we sit on our hands a lot because we're waiting for the right setups to come along. Our goal is 10 to 15 wins net per month, and this system really provides that well. So there you go. Have a great weekend, everybody, and you know, give me a like, and maybe consider subscribing so we can get this information out to as many people as possible. This is the Forex Academy, and I run the War Room in the Forex Academy, and we have a Facebook group that is free. So, all right, consider getting involved. Let's get this out to everybody.